What is up, NASCAR racing fans? You're watching the NASCAR Nitro Series. Today the modifieds are taking to the track at Darlington and getting ready to qualify for the pole. Lots of photo finishes in the stock qualifying. And now it's time to see if we're going to get that kind of heat from the mod. Now my phone was acting really funny when I was filming this. Some of these laps might start with the cars past the start gate. Not every lap, just some of them. It's going to be like that in the race too. But on the other hand, that just means we're getting to the action faster. And the action's going to get kicked off today with our points leader, Clyde, going up against Coop in the number 33. Clyde holding on to a razor-thin 15-point lead over Burt Buzzard. The gates are down and Coop beat him out of the jump. An absolute nightmare of a start for Clyde. Coop already has a 3-car length lead, but gets squirrely in the middle of the front stretch and flips over. Clyde gets caught up in it. It's a double DNF. Unbelievable. And licking his chops at that turn of events is Burt Buzzard. Finished 11 spots ahead of Clyde at Indianapolis. Cut into his lead. It's only 15 points now. Burt takes a car length lead over Big Play in the funnel chute. Big Play gets loose but recovers, loses a lot of speed in the corner, and Burt Buzzard moves on to the round of 16 while Clyde has to race his way in. And up next we have Chef Squid on the outside, Lucky Jackson on the inside, a pair of sub-4 RA veterans. And it's Lucky Jackson that has the advantage heading into the funnel chute. Slides in front of Chef Squid. And Lucky Jackson gets airborne, but he slams himself back down to throw the block onto Chef Squid. He'll be moving on to the round of 16. And up next we have Sloppy Bear going up against Gale Force. And look at this, Sloppy Bear has a half a car length lead heading into the fat track. But Gale Force reverse side drafts him in the funnel chute. Cautions out for an El Reco. Sloppy Bear on his roof. Gale Force cruises her way into the round of 16. And Sloppy Bear once again will have to race his way in. Now let's see what Sloppy Bear's teammate Gray can do going up against Lord Shank. They are still side by side, about a half a car length between the two of them heading towards the bottom of the fat track. And they both get a little squirrely in the fat track. Earn their stripe in the funnel chute, but slide out of there cleanly. Gray's running away with it now. Looks like they're both going to finish the lap, but Gray's going to be moving on to the round of 16. Lord Shank slides across the finish line. Don't know why he was showboating for coming in second, but you got to have fun when you're racing either way. And now the gates are down for Christy and Po Boy. Christy for G-Force Racing gets airborne and almost flips over, but uses Po Boy as a brake. Slides in front of him, throws a block. Christy moves on to the round of 16. Very close race. An awesome upset win for Christy. Now let's see if Mike Honcho can do the same. He's got a car length and a half, 2-car length lead, heading towards the bottom of the split track. Throws a block on Harry Hoon. And now they're single file heading into turn number 1. Comes out of turn number 2. It's going to be Mike Honcho moving on to the round of 16. He really needed that. And Owlman, a 3rd upset in a row. Unless he does something really stupid to blow this, but he's got a half a track segment lead over Misty G heading into the funnel chute. Navigates that cleanly, moves into turn number 1. He's got momentum on his side coming out of his first main event appearance, and he'll be moving on to the round of 16. And up next we have Gavin McSpadge going up against the Owlman's teammate, Lord Raymond. And they are side by side heading towards the bottom of the split track and heading into the funnel chute. Look at Lord Raymond reverse side draft Gavin McSpadge like that. He almost flips over but recovers. Lord Raymond running away with this by a track segment. And now Gavin McSpadge bins it in the middle of the turn. What a shame, he'll have to race his way in now. And now let's see if Puff and Giorgio, the team bosses for Puff's Racing and G-Force Racing, can avoid that fate on this lap. Giorgio pulls away with a half a track segment lead heading into turn number 1. Puff starts rubber banding, cuts that lead to about 2 car lengths heading out of the turn, but it won't be enough. Giorgio moves on to the round of 16. And now we have Bill Z Bub going up against J-Bo. And it's a close race heading down towards the bottom of the split track. And look at this, they both get airborne, they collide in the air. Bill Z Bub gets turned sideways, J-Bo keeps it straight. And it's going to be J-Bo flying away with it by over a track segment. And we're going to show y'all a replay of this because they are flat on the ground. Collide side by side in the air. That's almost a disaster, almost a double DNF. They both recover. What an incredible lap. J-Bo to the round of 16. And now we have Casey Kane going up against Gaza. Just got his first career win at Indianapolis. And Gaz is going to take that momentum into the fat track before Casey Kane's even off the ramp. He is flying away with this, navigates the funnel chute flawlessly. And it's going to be Gaza moving on to the round of 16 by a track segment. And up next we have Riot Isaac going up against Bobby Alice. And Bobby Allison on the outside gets a great jump out of the start gate. And he gets a little squirrely on the fat track there, but he corrects himself before Riot Isaac has a chance to catch up with him. He's got a 3-car length lead heading to the finish line. Bobby Allison moves on to the round of 16. And let's see if his teammate Heather can do the same going up against Sparky Racer. And halfway down the ramp, Heather has a 2-car length lead heading into the fat track. Pulling away further from Sparky heading into the funnel chute, Heather gets on 2 wheels for a brief second. Recovers there, gains more time on him, and your Daytona 500 winner is going to move on to the round of 16. And now 2 races to go in the round of 32. Baby Richie is going up against Charlie Verney. And Baby Richie on the outside has about a half a car length lead over Charlie Verney heading into the fat track. Look at Charlie Verney tag Baby Richie's quarter panel, but Baby Richie just slides sideways in front of him to throw a block. Spins it around, throws it in reverse, crosses the finish line, staring straight at Charlie Verney. What a great drive by Baby Richie. A little bit of showboating there, but he definitely earned it. And now for the last race of the round of 32. Look at Elton Sawyer flying away from William. A full track segment lead, but he gets a little squirrely coming out of the funnel chute. William rubber bands up to his back bumper, tries to shoot the gap. They're side by side to the finish line. We got to go to the replay for this. Such a close finish. Heading into the turn, he had a 3-car length lead. William makes up 2.5 car lengths in such a short amount of time. But Elton Sawyer gets there at just the right amount of time, just the right angle to hold him off by a bumper lane. And since there was one double DNF, the highest ranking driver to lose their race was Po' Boy. He gets back into the round of 16 by default. And he actually takes a half a car length lead over Burt Buzzard heading out of the start gate. And look at them. Both of these guys want it bad. They're still side by side heading into the funnel chute, beating and banging. Burt Buzzard's going to get it, though, heading out of turn number 2. He beats Po' Boy to move on to the round of 8. Now let's see if Po' Boy's teammate, Lucky Jackson, has better luck going up against Christy. But Christy holds a car length lead heading into the fat track. They're side by side in the funnel chute. Christy reverse side drafts Lucky Jackson on the inside wall, pulls away on the outside, and moves on to the Elite 8. A stunning upset by Christy fighting for it on the outside. Let's see if Gale Force can avoid the same fate. She's side by side with Mike Honcho heading into the funnel chute. And heading into the turns, neither one of them are giving the other an inch. And it looks like Gale outmuscles Mike in the middle of the turn, pulls away by a car length at the last second. And now we have the G-body of Gray going up against the T-Bird Stalker of the Owlman. It's 1987 all over again as the T-Bird pulls away from the Chevy. Owlman gets sideways but corrects himself before Gray could do any damage, and it's going to be the Owlman moving on to the Elite 8. And now let's see if his teammate Lord Raymond can do the same. He is going up against Giorgio from G-Force Racing. And Giorgio's teammate Christy pulled off the upset against Lucky Jackson earlier. And look at these guys side by side once more. They are relentless this round. Lord Raymond gets it with a reverse side draft coming out of the final corner. And up next we have J-Bo going up against Bobby Allison. And Bobby Allison heading into the bottom of the split track with a half a car length lead over J-Bo. Gets a little squirrely transitioning to the fat track, and that allows J-Bo to sneak in on the inside and pull up ahead of him by a car length to move on to the Elite 8. And now let's see if Gaza or Baby Richie is going to join them. And we have another dead heat on our hands. A bumper length between Baby Richie and Gaza. It could still be anybody's race. Baby Richie tries to make a move for the lead on the outside. But once again, he is boxed out by Gaza heading into the turns. And here we have Heather going up against Elton Sawyer, our last set of drivers for the round of 16. And Heather is running away with this by a track segment before they even reach the fat track. Elton Sawyer rubber bands a little bit in the turns, but it's going to be way too little too late. Heather pulls away once more coming out of the turn. She makes up that track segment margin. And now for the Elite 8, we have Christy going up against Burt Buzzard. And take a look at Christy trying for yet another upset. She's got a full car length lead. Clears Burt Buzzard, or maybe not. Burt Buzzard tags her back bumper. Christy gets loose and slows down in the middle of the turn. That is a dangerous spot. And Burt Buzzard just barely beats her out to the line. Look at this replay. Burt Buzzard just plows into the back of Christy. Almost sends her into the fans' cars. He's perpendicular to the track here. That is super dangerous. Burt Buzzard passes on the outside to move on to the final 4. And now we'll see if his fellow Australian Gale Force can join him, or if it's going to be the Owlman once again storming through these rounds. Owlman takes a car length lead. He flips over and holds on to the lead. Blocks Gale Force in the middle of the turn, somehow survives that. We're going to show you this on the replay. This is the most impressive thing I've seen so far in this session. The Owlman flips over, just like Far Out Jay in the Stocks race, and rejoins the track, still in first place. What an incredible drive by Owlman. Dangerous behavior, but he still gets the work done. And it actually looks like he tagged one of the parked cars there, but either way, that was impressive. And now look at this. Heather on the outside beats Lord Raymond pretty handily. beats him by 2 car lengths heading out of the turns. It looks like Lord Raymond won't be joining his teammate in the final 4. And let's see who's going to be the last driver to join Owlman, Burt Buzzard, and Heather. And so far, unless Gazza makes a mistake here, it's going to be him. Almost a track segment lead over J-Bo, and J-Bo gets sideways, hits a parked car trying to do what the Owlman did, and doesn't work out for him. Look at this. Gazza runs away with the last spot in the final 4. And now it is time for your final 4. The Owlman going up against Burt Buzzard. Can the Owlman pull off the upset? Burt Buzzard's been the best qualifier all year long. And right here, his experience shows. Reverse side drafting the Owlman into the wall. Knocks the Owlman loose. Burt Buzzard moves on to the finale, trying to race for the pole. And now let's see which one of these number 10 cars he's going to face. Heather's got half a car length lead over Gazza heading into the funnel chute. She leaves Gazza behind in the dust, but enters the turn too low. Clips the guardrail and bins it right before the finish line, collecting Gazza with her. That is a double DNF. The Owlman gets a second chance at the pole by default. And the gates are down there side by side all the way to the bottom of the split track. Owlman with just a bumper length lead over Burt Buzzard heading into the funnel chute. And Burt Buzzard boxes him into the wall once more coming out of the funnel chute. Takes it by 2 car lengths. Burt Buzzard is your pole sitter. And now it's time for the consolation races to avoid a bad starting spot in the 0-2 bracket. And it looks like Harry Hoon's got the advantage over Big Play heading into the funnel chute here. They make contact. Both of them get a little squirrely in the middle straight. Harry Hoon's going to hold him off, though. And now let's see if his fellow sub-4 RA veteran Chef Squid can do the same with Misty G. And he has a 2 car length lead heading into the funnel chute. But Misty G starting to gain ground. They both earn their Darlington stripe violently. And that enables the Owlman to hold her off. And now we have Misty's teammate and team boss, Puff, going up against Lord Shank, T-boner of Lord Shank's Racing. And I guess you can call this a boss battle. Lord Shank about a car length lead over Puff heading into the funnel chute. Puff makes contact with his quarter panel, tries to knock him loose. It doesn't work. Lord Shank's going to win it by 2 car lengths. And now we have Bill Z Bub going up against Riot Isaac. And Bill Z Bub already ahead by 2 car lengths heading into the fat track. But he makes contact with the wall, gets a passenger side Darlington stripe. That allows Riot Isaac to catch up to his back bumper. But a nice block on the high side gets him the victory. And now we'll see if his teammate Charlie Verney can take on Casey Kane. And it looks like that's the case, as Charlie also has a 2 car length lead heading into the funnel chute. And look at this, they both lose control in the funnel chute. Charlie Verney bins it in the middle of the turn. Casey Kane drives off the track, hits a parked car, and loses all of his momentum. That's a double DNF. Both of them are headed to the 0-2 draw. And let's see if Sparky Racer and William can avoid that. Sparky Racer with a 3 car length lead over William heading into the funnel chute. William once again rubber banding in the turns, but it's not going to be enough. Sparky Racer wins the last consolation race, and now it's time for the last chance race. 4 drivers. This time it's pretty simple. You just have to finish the lap to get in. Gavin McSpadge takes a car length lead over Clyde. That's right, Clyde, your points leader, will have to race his way in. Will start in the bottom 4 as long as he finishes this lap. And 3 of the cars do. Gavin McSpadge, Clyde, and Coop in that order. Sloppy Bear bins it in the corner once more. No contact. He will DNQ. Another tough break for Sloppy Bear. A nightmare of a season continues. And here is the draws. Good draws for Christy, Elton Sawyer, Lord Raymond, Po Boy, that baby Richie. Now for the drivers in the consolation winners. And we have the consolation, the 0-2 bracket. Riot Isaac with the least bad starting spot in the 0-2 bracket. And now here is your starting lineup. Burt Buzzard on the pole once more. The Owlman, Heather, Gazza, and Christy round out your pole sitters for the segments. Lord Raymond, Gale Force, J-Bo, great starting spot for Elton Sawyer. Lucky Jackson round out your front rows. And based on the stocks race, we have Skeeter Davis, Chase Elliott driving for William, because William already has a car in this event. Charlie, Rusty Wallace, and Rowan making their mods debuts. Lee Petty is back. Tough break for Clyde. He'll be starting close to last place, second to last actually. And that makes it a big opportunity for Burt Buzzard to take over the points lead in the race. We'll see if he can do it or not. Another epic qualifying session with some highlight reel stunts. This stint at Darlington's been a lot of fun so far. The race shouldn't disappoint either. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit that like button, leave a comment, and if you haven't done so already, subscribe. We'll see yous out there on the track.